Right. So these lectures, I'll be covering some other important Excel functions that we have that we commonly used when we are working with data, and they include the and. Right. We'll be looking at okay. We are going to be looking at the concatenation. We have the concat function, concat concat function. We also have the count. We have the count average, that is count A, and then we have count if. Right. We also have the if. We've already seen how to use if statement. Okay. We are going to be looking at also the lower function. We've seen maximum already. So we see the lower, and you'll be looking also at the okay. I think that's basically what we are going to be covering in this particular lectures, because we don't want it to be that long. We want to break everything simple and short for you. Now, as we've said before, you've already seen what functions are and how we can use that in our Excel. We said we have to start with equal sign and then you write the function name. All right. So first and foremost, looking at this data here, we have a sales data containing information of customers with the different items they purchased, the units, and also the sales amount. All right. Now we will be starting with the concatenation function, and what this function does is that it links together content of multiple cells. Right. Looking at this, let me zoom out this a little. Let me zoom in a little. Let's say we have these two guys here, the two columns here, the manager, the salesman. Right. Let's say, for example, let's just assume that we have these two. Let's assume that this is a first name and then this is a last name, and then we want to create another column to join these two together, maybe their first and last, to form their full names. Right. So all you have to do is you can insert a column in between these. And for you to insert a column, you have to, right click on here and then just tap insert. All right, so let's just say we create a column here and then we want to have something like a full name, right? So for you to use the concat function, use your equal sign and then type concatenation, right? Then the first thing it says, you should put the first text you want to display here. And what you basically do is to tap on this first cell that is containing the name here, Martha. Remember, we already assumed that we are this is a first name and then this is a last name. Now, the next thing that we are going to be doing here is for us to okay, we are basically going to add a comma. All right, there's going to be a comma here, and then because there's going to be a space in between the first name and the last name, so put your quotation mark, open and close here, then another comma, and then the next text here, close this bracket and hit enter. And we can see we have Martha Alexander. Now you notice what I did here. Once we double tap here, we have a space in between here and here. There's a space here. All right. Now, if you happen to remove this space, let's say for example, we close this. We just take only two. You notice what happens. The two texts, first and last name, are joined without a spacing. So to add a space, you have to include a comma, then include a space by doing this with your space bar with another comma to have this. So to populate your data, take your mouse to here and double tap to fill out the information. So right now we have the full name of the persons here on this data. Now we will be looking at the count function, and we said it counts the cells with numbers in a range. For example, we have a large data set and we may not really know the number of records in that set. For you to count it, find the count here, because obviously if you scroll down to here, you may likely see the end of this record, and you can just tell them we have about 43 records here. Now let's assume that we are not scrolling down and then you want to get it right from here. So just click the cell you want to get the count value and then open your bracket. Now, as I said, count is usually applied to numbers in a cell. Okay. So if you are working with text, it doesn't apply to text. Okay. Now tap on here and then shift control, press your arrow down to go to the last value here. All right, now close the bracket. You can use the formula bar and then hit enter. And we have about 43 records in this data set. Now you notice what happens if we happen to apply that on the column that contains text. We are not going to get the same result. Let's try that to see. COUNT, and then let's click on this, shift control arrow down, and then just close the brackets and hit enter. You see we have 0 here. This is because count doesn't work with text, right? But you can use a function called a count average just by using your A here, count A, and we get the value here, 43. But using count average, you can as well as use count average, that's count A, on both numbers and also on letters or text, right? Then the next thing we'll be looking at now is what is called the lower. So what the lower does is that it reformats text and then takes all of them to lowers it, all right, to lowercase. So that's what it does. For example, here, let's say we want to change this to lowercase. So just use equal sign lower, and then let's click the text you want to lower. All right, we have your cell phone. Now you can drag this and we have all the values here. So you notice what happened. For video games, change everything to lowercase. Television, everything is changed to lowercase. So let's delete it. And the next thing that we are supposed to look at here is all right, I think we are basically going to be stopping there. So those are the key things. We've seen minimum, we've seen maximum, we've seen summation, and we've seen how to use the average. Please, whenever you are using a function, you have to follow those parameters. All right. For example, COUNT. If you open the bracket, it says what's the value 1. You have to follow this. So count this. So with a comma, it says what's value 2, what's value 3, what's value 4. All right. So you have to be following those parameters inside the function. I think I'm basically going to be stopping here, and thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you next time.